I'm going to say good morning because it is almost 1:15 in the morning for me, Friday morning, so understand this video is pushing the line. I'm Eric with His&Hers HHQ, and we've crossed the finish line. This build, I'm going to say it's been an extraordinary challenge. It's been what, 5 weeks, 6 weeks maybe, since I started this. It's been quite a challenge. Of course, a lot of life getting in the way, and as that goes. But it's been one of those things that's just absolutely it's tested my skill, and I learned a few things on the way, obviously, and I can look at the completed product and I'm proud of what I've accomplished, but I can also see things that, okay, what would I do differently? And that's part of the learning experience. I could do this differently, or I would do this one way, or this another, and that's the point. But the overall build, I have to say, I enjoyed doing this for you, the viewer, and you, the follower over on Facebook. It's just been one of those things I've absolutely pushed myself to accomplish. And yeah, so this is the AMT Phantom Ford Econoline custom van, build stock or custom. And if you have watched all the other videos, I call it a VUC. Brief synopsis of what happened is my youngest son and my daughter and I were pulling into McDonald's here locally, and there was a vehicle there that my daughter and I were talking, so I was only half paying attention to the road, which, bad on me. I really should have been focusing. But my 16-year-old was like, what the fuck? And of course, I have tinnitus, the ringing in the ears, all those explosions and bullets and everything. Anyway, I was like, what did you say? And he said, a vuck, a vuck. I said, I thought that's what you said. But no, sure enough, there was an individual that had cut a van in half. I mean, like literally just right behind the driver's door a little bit, and added a pickup bed. And as silly as it sounds, I looked at it, and the driver had come out of McDonald's and was walking up to the van as we were getting, or the VUC, sorry, as we were getting out of our car, and I talked to him about it. Then I explained to him I work on models, I do plastic models and stuff, and I asked him if he had an issue with me using his vehicle as inspiration for something. He was elated. He, by all means, please do. So I had this AMT Phantom Ford Econoline custom van from round 2, purchased at autoworldstore.com. Several years ago, but I just got around to opening it just for this build, just for you guys. And as I was looking through my stash trying to determine what I wanted to do build wise, to go with my 3 ideas for videos: building out of the box, nothing special, but still looks good. out of the box, maybe a few extras here and there, going all that extra mile to give it that extra bit of realism. And number 3, just because that's what's in the box doesn't mean that's what has to come out of the box. So I said I'm going to take this one and turn it into a VUC. It turned out I had an extra pickup bed, so it all worked out. This is a Ford, and the pickup bed was a Ford, so that's what I went with. And after we do the reveal, I'll reveal my stash ad and explain where I'm going with this. I want to say that what I have done with it, I have personally never seen before. So it's one of those moments that it's new to me. I've never seen anything like this before. I hope it is new and exciting and maybe gives you some ideas. But as I went along with the build, and I decided to raise the roof on this thing and give it that camper van look, I saw something in the body style, in the lines, and I said I needed to paint something. I needed to paint it a certain way. And I said, that'll look really, really cool doing it like that. But then as I went along, I said, if I'm going to paint it like that, I need to do more. And that's what I'm saying. It kept pushing and pushing and pushing my level of experience. And I learned a lot of things. There were several oopsies here and there. I used a semi-gloss on the paint job, and for some reason, across the one corner of the hood and a couple little spots around the lettering of the Ford, it bubbled a little bit. I'm not going to say bad. In general, yes, most modelers, their heads might have exploded, but I looked at it and I kept looking at it and I kept my head from exploding, going, I can work with this. So I added to the paint. I did a little bit here and there, and I think it worked out in the end. I built this for me, but I hope you enjoy getting the chance to view it. I hope you enjoyed the video series leading up to this. And, well, without further ado, AMT Phantom Ford Econoline Custom Van 1/25th scale turned into a VUC. Here we go. I don't have a turntable, I'm sorry. And it is dry, it is pretty solid, but I'm treating this thing so gingerly. As you can see, that's where the mess up was, but I worked with it and gave it and went over it with this darker stuff and created the extra lines, making it kind of veiny. So I have a Frankenvuck. Yes, I need to dust it off again, but it's Frankenstein's monster. I changed up the mirrors, the arms for the mirrors and the holders for the arms are obviously scratch built. As you can see here, I don't have a license plate for it. When I get to doing some custom decals, I may come back to it. I'm just trying to figure out how to spell out just, give it that continue with the Frankenstein sense there. It's going to be really difficult to see, but I didn't put in side windows for a reason. Unfortunately I cut the windows and did the wing windows, and I knocked them off. I have to tack them back on. Nothing major, you know. But otherwise, we got those lake pipes going, looking sharp. The rims. Now, I'm going to try and turn this in such a way that you can see as best as possible. Let me see here. Yeah, here we go. We'll work with this. The straps, the bed, of course, is scratch built. The monster's bed. I went with the whole mad scientist laboratory look in the back. I do have pictures that will be available over on Facebook shortly after the video debuts, before I closed it up. But except for using a handful of spare model parts, like these rings here, let's go with the pencil here. Like these rings here are disc brakes for something, or this bottle that's underneath. Let's see, the bottle that's here. This piece here is actually a part of a rear differential. These bits are a round rubber gasket I found somewhere. I cut in half and used. The hose is the clear stretchy beading wire. This part here is actually a portion of a tube for the classic red paint or glue. This piece here, I'm not positive what that went to, and that's that weird spray nozzle looking thing as the base. As you can see, the cable coming out the back of the van is 4 of the stretchy cables tied together. But as you can see, yes, I actually did the actual buckles for the strap, and then the holes on the opposite side. But what you have here is obviously a lightning rod that connects to these Tesla coils. I went with a wooden look here, and this back here is more of a stone work, and of course the wood. This here is all balsa wood, and the brass studs here are actually made from this bit of sheet styrene. It's a tube. I think it's 1 millimeter tube, but I'm not positive. Anyway, it's a solid tube, as you can see. And all I did was use my X-Acto blade and start shaving off little bits here and there to, well, get my studs. I don't know, let me see how well you can see it, but yeah, all of this here, this piece here, central piece, is square evergreen tubing. The round piece on top is a round piece of the evergreen. It's an actual tube. And then the piece here and the front plate here are both the 0.005 millimeter, I think, maybe, sheet styrene scrap that I saved aside, cut it into little rectangles, and then again I added studs as if they were bolts, obviously. Now I'm going to try and tilt this just a little bit. You can see the tank in there, the switch, obviously. Those pieces are just bits of electronic, but there's no way I'm going to be able to tilt this thing and give you a good shot of the inside. But I went with, obviously, I went with Frankenstein's monster in this for this build. The paint job, obviously, is Frankenstein's monster. The top is a slate gray. And then what I did, I went over it with a black wash using my craft paints, just slightly darker than the slate. And then instead of just beating it on there, I pulled it to give it that hair look. And then the green itself, I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got kind of a mottled green to it. You can really see it there on the hood, but the point was to create a dead skin or dead flesh look, just the classic Boris Karloff Frankenstein. So the inspiration for this obviously was the Vuck, but of course I used more of the van, so it made for a longer body. The Frankenstein here, Frankenstein look, is the classic Boris Karloff Frankenstein look, including the trademark, well, it's not trademark, but you get the point, the requisite forehead damage. So it's all Boris Karloff inspired paint scheme here. The windows on the side are obviously the bolts, but then I went all mad science-y in the back, and where I got that is from the classic, I'm going to say classic, and it pains me to say classic because it's like 1986 Monster Squad. So that's where I was going with this. 3 bits of inspiration, 1 vehicle came together. So it's a fantastic build. I really enjoyed it. I love the way it looks. I'm going to dust it off, get some photos, and we'll get those over on Facebook. And you'll be able to see more photos of the interior over there. Now, give me just a moment to reset the desk, and I'll reveal the next stash ad, or the build that's going to go along with this. Alrighty, and here we are. The Surfshark 1959 Cadillac Ambulance, also by AMT. It's round 2 models, available at autoworldstore.com. I don't know how well you can see this. It's actually a fairly good sized box. Let me move the vuck. Pull this out of the way a little bit. And try and stretch out our arms a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. Alright, so I have Frankenstein's monster over there. You can't have Frankenstein, especially classic Frankenstein, without Count Dracula. So, Dracula needs a hearse. This one's going to be another scratch build. There's going to be a few little kit additions digging through my stash. I am going to build a casket for the Prince of Darkness there to put in the back. I've opened the box, obviously, and taken a look at it, and it's pretty easy to determine looking at this. There's not a whole lot of parts to the kit. It doesn't actually have an engine. The hood is closed off, molded in place, but it's pretty easy to see that this came from the Ghostbusters mold series, the Ecto 1. However, obviously, it can't be Ecto 1. So it is Surfshark. It is a 1959 Cadillac Ambulance. What I'm going to do to it is I'm going to raise the roof some, make it more of a hearse. And the interior needs a serious revamp in order to make it a hearse, because the interior tub is molded one piece, and it is set up to be the Ecto 1, and that's not what we're going for. But I'm going to do a whole set of a mean front end here, fangs maybe, but yeah, I want it when I'm done to kind of say evil without saying evil. You know what I mean? Kind of like, well, the Vuck says Frankenstein's monster. So I'm going to do an entire series of these. I've never personally seen it. Somebody may have tried it before or done something similar, but this is me and my interpretation. I've never done anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. So this is Frankenvuck, or Frankenstein's monster. The Cadillac will be I'm thinking the Prince of Cadness instead of the Prince of Darkness, because it's Cadillac. I'm doing an entire series. I've decided on this. For all of you, I'm going to do a series of vehicles, creatures of the road. And here is the first one. It's Frankenstein's monster. The next one further down the road will be the Count's hearse. I'm going to do a Wolfman's vehicle. I'm going to do a Mummy's vehicle, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and I may, just because, throw in a zombie just because, but I was... pardon me, good Lord, it's late. It's just one of those things. I always enjoyed those Saturday evening creature features with my mom back in the 80s, and it was just one of those things that is now translating into my art, my hobby. again, there are some things that are just blemishes or something with the build that I learned from, but the entire process I enjoyed. It pushed me to the limits, and I discovered I can go further, I can do more, and that's the point. So that's what I'm going to do. I've seen plenty of people chop a roof on a model car, but I've never seen somebody raise a roof. So we're going to do something like that for Dracula's Hers. I've got something. Dadgummit. It's late. Pardon me. I've got something pretty far out planned for the Wolfman's car. I've got something. Yeah, I've got something up my sleeve. I'm thinking for the Mummy, and I think you guys will enjoy that one. I think y'all will enjoy that. But yeah. So anyway, I have that build down. The next build up will be the promotional build for my local business, one of the local businesses here in Waynesville, and the begin build for that video will be on Sunday, so look for that. And again, head on over to Facebook and check out the pictures. There will be the interior pictures of the kit before I closed it up. So be sure you check all that out. And yeah, like the videos, share, and be sure you subscribe. Follow us over at on Facebook at His&Hers Hobby Headquarters. I'm Eric, and I'm heading to bed. You all have a good night / morning, evening.